The change or the transition from persuasion to convincing is, in my view, the four major challenges which social media places to public relations, and it has influenced our profession very much. These 5 years have had a significant, despite the hype, which is enormous in this area, but it has changed our way of doing our profession.
So what should I say? First, you can control the message, not the news. And also, if you go on the social media, you have to have something to say, and also you have to understand the grammar, the way to do it.
Behind PR has always been the notion of control, and in fact, beyond control, control has only been possible because we've been living in a world of scarcity, where there are not very many media, and they not very many people own them, and there's not very much in them. The newspapers, for even the best newspapers, are pretty thin and paltry compared to the breadth of things that are happening. So behind control is scarcity. That's the intermediaries who have been the public relations people can only be intermediaries because there's a position, there's a place they can put themselves. There's a funnel, and they can stand at the thin end of the funnel, but the funnel is going away very rapidly. The media, the traditional media are still there, but they no longer obviously have control over our attention. So we are entering a world of abundance.
I think we here in this room, on this panel, and you here in this room, are far ahead on what is happening outside our little group of people who are thinking about authenticity, for example. And our new blog of Element Digital, which we launched last week, is called Authenticity, and our claim is authentic communications. And I think we are just thinking about what means the concept of authenticity for communications, not for a company, but for communications. And I personally believe it's all about and it's still true what you said in 2000, I think, or 99. Companies don't have a human voice, but people have a human voice, and this is still true. And when I today look at Clue Manifesto, which inspired me very much, it is like a blueprint of what is happening right now. Before the age of broadcast, before the age of radio and TV, there was one thing that was really driving business, and this was word of mouth. And what is coming back now at the end of the age of broadcast is word of mouth. And word of mouth doesn't mean my neighbor in my local city community, but word of mouth means my peers in a in a relationship that is neighborhood, but not physically neighborhood, but digitally neighborhood.
I can tell by looking around the audience that many of you are too young to have been new wave music fans, but there was an iconic song, "Video Killed the Radio Star." And in there is one line, "We can't rewind, we've gone too far." I think the truth is that the hottest thing in any field usually does not kill whatever went before, but it causes very substantial change to it. And I think that's what's really happening today. Now, the influencers say they listen to their friends and family more than the general public does. And so their friends and family come to ask their opinions, and what they've been doing is asking the opinions of their friends and family. Now, you have to wonder, did they become influential because they actually know more, or because they listened to the other party to start with? I think that's really the key to success in social media for corporations today. And
I think that's a message for all of us, is that now we're seeing communication not in a linear fashion, but in a relational fashion. That's why I think a lot of times what we're seeing with public relations is the dawn of a golden age for us, because we are the relationship experts. Now, we've kind of gotten bogged down in this idea of being influence peddlers or controllers. And the internet has given us the opportunity to wake up and understand how we might be able to become better content producers, better deliverers of what people really want. Mass markets, they're here. They're not going anywhere. The power of the recognized media is there. Anybody writing a book wants to be on Oprah. Oh yeah, if you're on Oprah, you'll sell a lot of books. You want your product sampled on the Today Show. These are going to be there. The Super Bowl is a global event. So the mass media is here. The beautiful thing has happened is that, and all my life I was working on the fringes trying to understand, yeah, but what about this off-center stuff? The people that had an idea and it wasn't big enough to be a fully blown mass media campaign. Well, we're in that age where you can actually create a marketplace that is very substantial, way beyond one-on-one, up to tens of thousands, up to hundreds of thousands, and maybe up to millions on one in a very short period of time if you can get the content that people are looking for, because people are both searching and browsing.
What a little mouth you have, kissing you is nice but hard. Sit down on your chair and play. I stretch out on your bed and wait.
What kind of students, of PR students, do we create by using this pedagogical tool? We assume that we create critical thinkers. We assume that we will create future managers, future communication directors which are open, or as you say, authentic. So we would like to create characters, those characters which are versatile enough, in the positive sense, flexible enough, open enough, to lead future corporations. We shall see to what extent these pedagogical tools enable us to, on the one hand, better transmit the science, and on the other hand, form better characters.
And so learning is a process of connecting information sources and people. And what is important too, I think, is that learning is not only about listening, but also in communities, in reading, in writing, wiki articles, for example, or in blogging.
In our case, we also had idea to teach students to learn to share knowledge. It means to learn to communicate, to learn to be open, to learn to be communicative in that sense, that you will sharing all those things. And as Thomas' research showed, that sometimes they don't like to share. Sometimes they are protesting or protecting themselves. We tried also through blogging to solve this problem and prepare them to be ready mentally to share knowledge and to share information, to communicate.
The thing is, our computer scientists most of them are Linux people, and they have some projects with IBM, and they are very cool people. But they haven't realized in the very first weeks that our students are not that web literate. We've been talking about this media literacy, and maybe for now internet there should be something called web literacy.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that the popular culture today is very individualistic. You go out there and you find information, and you find music, and you find content that you want, and if you don't find it, you create it. And it's not always bad, and that's why we're sitting here and talking about blogging. And maybe students would come up with ideas that could also be used in teaching.